Kayla.
And Jim.
And welcome back to another Meteorology Monday.
Today we are going to do a meteorologist reacts to the 500-mile-an-hour storm.
And what a reaction it is going to be. But first, before we get into the video, make sure that you like this video and subscribe down below so you never miss another Meteorology Monday.
All right, we've got a bunch of clips that we're going to go through, and the first clip that we're going to do is probably a technical boo-boo that
just a little one, just a little one.
that someone didn't do the research on, but we're going to take a look at it and let's see if you can point it out.
Verifying weather anomalies and low pressure altitudes, winds at 129 and climbing.
Why didn't you see that?
It just happened.
What just happened?
Circular fluid motion of clouds, pressure's dropping 13 psi.
Increasing wind at 175. A cyclone is forming in the Gulf.
How big?
At 5, big. Find out if there are any vessels in the area and get NOAA on the phone right now.
Did you catch it?
Did you catch it? Did it hurt your soul as much as it hurt mine? They're talking about a hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico. And what do they refer to it as it gains strength and heads towards 170 something miles an hour?
Let's see. So the categories of hurricanes, we categorize them as the EF scale, the F scale, or the CAT scale.
If you chose the F scale like these people did, you are incorrect.
And this movie was made, if I remember correctly, 2013. So the enhanced Fujita scale was actually created in 2007.
Years
and the movie was out
prior.
in 2013, so for them to say the F scale,
Yeah.
I didn't see any indication in the movie that it was prior to 2007. Maybe it was, maybe they're using that, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
But still,
either way.
they're referring to a hurricane with the F scale.
Exactly, which it's not.
Moving on.
Clip number 2.
The reactor is malfunctioning. We've messed with Mother Nature.
Reporting swells of 70 feet. Winds approaching 200 miles an hour.
What population centers are within a 400-mile radius?
Galveston.
Only Galveston.
That's the direct path of the storm.
Okay. Where do I start? So, what population centers are within 400 miles of the storm center?
Which is in the Gulf of Mexico.
Okay, I'm thinking if he says Galveston, it's more on the western side. But I mean, we're not going to talk about New Orleans, we're not going to talk about Mobile, Alabama, Pensacola, Florida, Tampa, Florida. So obviously it must be over there, but they don't really indicate that. They just say what's within 400 miles, and then that's where it's going.
That's it. It's only that one. Forget every other coastal city on the Texas border with the Gulf of Mexico.
Corpus Christi.
Nope, we're going straight to Galveston. But like nothing else in the movie takes place in Galveston, so it's like a lot of these movies be like, oh, it's going towards the center of where our story takes place. Pretty sure our story takes place half in New Mexico, and the other half is in the Gulf of Mexico.
That's
so it's
right.
like, what?
And again, we are reacting to the meteorology in the movie.
Yeah.
Clip number 3.
Clip number 3.
Clip number 3.
Got a little bit of rain. Nice day. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, how did it go from rain to that?
Storms have been
It might be a Cat 2 tornado.
America, believed to have been caused by the government
Cat 2
Apollo station.
tornado.
Civilian casualties remain unknown at this time, while storms continue to spread throughout the state.
We have the egg beater tornadoes with the hot air balloons. Utter destruction here with the balloons. Poor people in the balloons. And then we're just cutting to clips of like slight flooding.
Yeah, what about the balloon? Forget the balloon!
And these guys are somehow okay. You see that in the background.
I mean,
It's like a merry-go-round.
People
They're not
exploded.
married.
They blew up.
Just calm down, play your game or something.
Just ignore the tornado behind us. Just sit down, play your game.
What a mom.
Moving on to clip 4.
Beautiful time lapse.
I'm shutting this down.
You don't know that's the problem.
My chart says that we ripped a hole in the ozone. That rip keeps on going. It won't stop until we stop. Ox, shut it down.
What did they do Did they just Google meteorology and trigger words and then just put everything into this movie with no context, no science, no explanation? Who even are these people? The other dude is a high school science teacher. Who gave them control of the weather?
Let's break this down. Let's give them props for the time lapse of the clouds rolling in. That's realistic. Ripping a hole in the ozone layer is causing a 500-mile-an-hour storm and tornadoes that are making balloons circulate around it. Do you recall anything in your meteorological education where ripping a hole in the ozone actually creates this kind of catastrophic weather event? Or is this one of those things where this is just a piece because all the other things are just cascading in disaster and that's what's continuing to cause the chaos?
I'll go with option number 2.
We'll give them the benefit of the doubt that everything is falling apart. The poles are switching, the earth is tilting somewhere different, the sun is going dark.
The sun has disappeared, the oceans are evaporating.
Oh, and don't forget the nuclear meltdown that's occurring in the middle of this.
I'm losing my words. And brain cells.
Moving on to clip 5.
Tornado with no wall cloud. Maybe a little bit of wall cloud.
It looked okay.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But it definitely was not this.
And then this happens.
We were teetering on okay, and then just full on no.
It's like, okay. All right, now the rain is kicked in with the sunshine behind them. But that's where the tornado is.
Look at all this debris.
And the tornado is following them.
It's just completely following them.
Gotta get out of the city.
Look, I don't know how fast the storm is coming or what direction it's going. You're gonna kill us. Just everybody shut up. I need to think.
Just everybody shut up. I need to think.
Clip number 6.
Here we go. Still chasing them. It's a little farther in the movie.
What are believed to be tornadoes or hurricanes are causing massive destruction across the South.
Tornadoes
Look,
or
I'm
hurricanes.
too old to be reporting this kind of news. Get me back in the studio, please. Conditions are getting worse. I've never seen a storm.
There was no tornado behind the car over her shoulder. It's not there either. And now all of a sudden it's...
What in the world?
The camera guy doesn't warn her at all. She's just oblivious, and it just takes them out.
Did you hear what she screamed? She screamed, "It's a hypercane!" Dude, that's a tornado! What?
This is just going from bad to worse.
And then the kid is like, dude, she just totally died! And the father's like, eyes forward, let's keep going. I mean, he could have honked the horn to warn the news people. The camera guy could have said something.
Let's just look at the meteorological accuracy for a second. We had a clip just before.
Where was it?
Where it's pouring rain on the car and he's saying, shut up, I need to think, okay? They're driving by her. There is no rain. There is no tornado. They get by her. She's sucked up. The camera guy's sucked up. And now the next clip is they're in downpouring rain again. I don't know what to do with this.
There's no words. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know what to react to. I don't know whether to laugh or to cry. My soul is dying inside.
And we're just focusing on the meteorology.
This is, yeah.
They talk about so many other things, you know, when it comes to the nuclear technology, when it comes to Earth magnetic, you know, they talk about a bunch of other things,
Lots of things.
You know, in the middle of all this. And you're kind of piecing it together going, how does this all fit? Other than just trying to find the worst case scenario for all the major bullet points.
Yes, all the trigger words from all of the natural disaster sciences.
Right. They're kind of packing it all into this one movie. So, you know, just the meteorology alone, they tipped the scale toward ridiculous. Clip number 8. This one's a doozy.
It really gets you. Oh. Let's just watch it. Here we go.
Where should we go?
I vote we go home. Yeah, my vote's home. We need to go where the low pressure can be held at bay, so higher elevation.
Oh, what about the animal preserve? Is that high enough?
I don't know, but we'll give it a shot. If we go home, I can get on the internet.
Honey, there is no internet.
Probably no home.
So, we got to get up higher where the low pressure area can't reach us.
What kind of logic is that? Let's explain how low pressure works for a second, okay? Pressure systems 101. It's just, I know, it hurts. I can't, we're gonna make it through this. I hope. So the pressure is kind of like, think of all the air above you as like, it has weight, it has mass. And in lower pressure, you have less of it. In higher pressure, there's more of it, that kind of thing. But it's all, imagine a column going all the way up to the top. It's all the same. It's all the same. From here to there, you have the same kind of discrepancies in the pressure, which have your lows and highs, and that's how you can tell that kind of stuff. You can't escape this column by just going higher. I don't even know how to explain how ridiculous this is. Somebody else, take it away.
Let's take, for example, you have a snowstorm that is moving from the Pacific Ocean into Washington and Oregon, where there's the Cascade Mountains and then the higher mountains further off to the east. Just because there's mountains there, you could drive to the top of those mountains and think, well, low pressure ain't gonna get me here. There's gonna be no precipitation and, you know, we're gonna be safe. No, it's probably gonna rain and snow on you, depending on the temperature.
To rain and snow.
You're not gonna escape. You might escape the water that's coming in off the Pacific Ocean if there was a huge surge, but you're not gonna escape the low pressure, which is what he said. So,
I mean, if there is a flood coming, I understand.
They should have said the
higher
flood.
ground. But to escape the weather by climbing a mountain? That's it. That's when we just gotta mark it.
And he implied that
We'll just
it's
go to the
because the low pressure doesn't go up the mountain.
But it's like it's from here to here the whole way. You can't. There's no. We're moving on. I can't.
Moving on. Clip number 9.
Again.
The particle accelerator isn't slowing down.
The Apollo was designed to feed off the Earth's energy, all right? Magnetism, natural friction, tectonic stresses, the heat from the Earth's core, and storms. The storm's intensity is causing a feedback loop. The stronger the storms become, the stronger the Apollo becomes. The stronger the Apollo becomes, the stronger the storms. Both of them are acting as a cause and effect. Now it's like a saw blade spinning faster and faster. You can't just grab it with both hands.
Okay, so there you have it. Kind of a summation of the disaster unfolding. We've got energy from Earth's magnetic. We've got magnetic field. We've got
crust of the Earth.
Tectonic plates. Particle acceleration.
It sounds like a bad episode of The Flash. What is happening?
So we're not going to speak to that, but it kind of gives you an idea, just that one little clip, to show you how they can fork off in many different directions and cause
everything's going wrong.
Problems and disasters on all the environmental talking points.
Just everything. Nothing's safe. Nothing's safe.
And although there are issues with those talking points, the thing is that they jammed all of this into one movie and made it
Pick your
all
battle.
fail. They made it all fail at the same time.
Is it going to be a nuclear disaster? Is the Earth's crust going to melt? Is the ozone disappearing? Or do we have a hypercane?
We'll keep going. Clip number, what are we at? 9?
Clip number, I don't know anymore.
Clip number, fill in the blank.
Simon, what are you talking about?
Nathan, we are controlling the weather.
It's impossible.
I'm not going to argue the validity of this, all right? I need to ask you some questions.
What?
The basic fundamentals of
Convenient
planetary model
cell
are
service
adjusting and
interruption.
self-regulating.
Tsunamis raised Houston. The president has issued a state of emergency. Be advised, gather all belongings and find a safe place to take shelter.
Well, Dad, sounds like it's a good thing we didn't move to Houston like you wanted to.
So the tsunami
Right?
erased Houston. And Houston is what, 50 miles from Galveston?
There's no continuity. They're not even talking about Galveston anymore.
Okay,
Continuing.
continue.
That's right. Perfectly safe. We just have to get to a high enough elevation to avoid the tornadoes.
How do you know?
Once we reach the top of the mountain, there isn't a hurricane or a tornado in all of nature that can reach high enough to touch us.
Let's let's examine, I don't even know how to, I don't have words. There has been folklore in the past where if you're in a mountainous area that it causes storms to fall apart. Okay. Mountains do have, depending on how tall they are and the dynamics of how strong the system is, that it can disrupt, and so therefore it reaches the edge of the mountains, kind of falls apart, and then reorganizes on the other side of the mountains and continues to move. Here in the US, might occur the same way in other parts of the world. So there's some truth to that in terms of observation. But if we're talking a 500-mile-an-hour storm, and it's wiped out Houston with a tsunami, I don't care how high up you're gonna go, this thing is going to impact you.
You are not escaping this by climbing a mountain. In fact, you are going higher into the clouds where the winds are stronger, the rain is like heavier, there's potential for lightning to strike since you're on top of the highest object, perhaps hail involved. If these tornadoes and hurricanes, as they said, have nothing to do with normal weather and are caused by some crazy phenomenon, why would they think that these regular rules, though wrong, would apply? They're like, this is unprecedented and we don't know what's going to happen, but let's stick with this one little bit of folklore that says if we climb a mountain, we're safe there forever. Nothing in all of nature can touch us there.
So you mean to tell me that when a strong hurricane comes up through Baja, California, and I mean just perfectly, the eye just fits right in that warm water and it just continues to spin, as I've seen in years past. You mean to tell me that being on the mountains there in Southern California, that you would be safe because you're gonna be above the hurricane?
It's laughable. Utter ridiculousness.
There are a ton of clips, and this video would wind up being an hour long if we hit every single thing. So we're not gonna hit on all of them. We're just gonna hit on probably the more extremes in terms of ridiculous. So let's just go to the next clip.
Two tornadoes. The core melts. Fujiwara effect will kick in.
What effect?
Fujiwara effect. It's when two hurricanes or tornadoes get close enough to each other to attract and form one large hurricane or tornado.
We did a video
We did do a video.
on the Fujiwara effect.
Yes.
And that will be in the link below.
It'll also pop up in one of these corners.
If you grow tired of this nonsense and need a break and some entertainment and some education, because this is not.
So the Fujiwara effect, is basically two low pressure systems that do this pinwheeling around each other, depending on which hemisphere you're in, and stuff like that. There's times that one may absorb the other, but it does not have, it's not because of the Fujiwara effect, it's because one's dying and the other one's absorbing it. Fujiwara effect is just basically how do two storms interact, and you'll eventually find that in certain circumstances, they will have this pinwheeling effect around each other.
Does it happen with tornadoes?
I've seen
To the extent
them
that
kind
they're
of,
talking about.
but not big tornadoes like this. Usually you kind of see it when you have one tornado and it starts to weaken and another one forms and it's stronger, and then that satellite tornado starts to roll around, but that's one storm system, and given the benefit of the doubt, maybe two next to each other, and you kind of have that Fujiwara effect where this one's dying out, it's going to spin around, but it's going to get absorbed, the energy is going to get absorbed eventually. For storms that are, these tornadoes look bigger, much stronger. I've never seen them pivoting around each other. Now, if you have, go ahead and comment below. I haven't seen it, doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but they're just making, it almost seems like they're really grasping at trying to make a disaster be an 11 out of a scale of 1 to 10, and try to just make everything happen, including major tornadoes spinning around each other in a Fujiwara effect. Yeah.
So yes, Fujiwara effect not applicable in this situation in the sense that they're talking about, but it gets better.
The core melts. Conditions would be perfect for dozens of hurricanes to spring up across the face of North America.
If the core of this nuclear whatever melts, we're going to get dozens of hurricanes across the face of North America, not the oceans where hurricanes live.
And then when they move over land, they fall apart. But he's talking about forming over land masses. So then they would not be hurricanes, because hurricanes are tropical in nature.
In the water. So would this be a terracane?
A terracane.
The land
Nice.
is...
Terrestrial cane.
No. What am I... Wait a second. What am I talking about? It'd be a low pressure system.
It'd be a bunch of low pressure systems.
Over land are just low pressure systems. Okay.
It's kind of like saying we're going to have a nor'easter over California. We got one last clip just because we want to.
We have to.
We have to.
Because it gets worse.
It's necessary.
Here we go.
Yeah, but we are getting the reading of a massive storm.
It's an F10.
Did you catch that one?
I want to cry. An F. Okay, F10. Yep. And on that note, there are so many other things that we could react to from this movie. I have about 10 more minutes worth of clips that we could have watched. However, I think we have all suffered enough today. Props to whoever made this movie. I don't know if it was supposed to be a joke or a funny movie. Maybe it was under comedy and we didn't realize it. But this was
an epic disaster, a comedy.
Meteorologists react to... Man, this just makes you want to go watch Into the Storm, doesn't it?
Or Atomic Twister.
Or Atomic Twister. Man, let's have a movie night. Pop the popcorn. Let's watch Into the Storm
Let's
again.
raise the bar a little bit.
What a great movie.
Oh my. So at this point we rate the movie in terms of meteorological accuracy and entertainment value.
Do we even need to? Was
So,
our reaction enough?
The bar has been set by Into the Storm, and then Atomic Twister set the new low bar, and now the 500-mile-an-hour storm. I believe we have a new low bar.
Ages below the other two. It's just, words escape me. It's just very low.
So it's not even on the scale.
It's not.
For meteorological accuracy, it's not even on the
It's
scale.
on the negative scale. We'll go on the other direction.
Entertainment value?
No. It's a no on a scale from 1 to 10 for me.
There was too much going on, and it kept jumping from one thing to another. There was no consistency through it, and it's kind of like this disaster here, that disaster there, and then so much was unrealistic that it was not entertaining anymore.
No.
I think in the first 5 or 6 minutes we had to stop and so many times to go, did they just say that? Rewind that. Did that just...
Hang on.
What is going on here?
Yeah. Everything was happening and nobody knew what was happening, and then the acting was kind of
Johnny, just go play your game.
Just go play your game. The mom with the granola bars. Shout out to the mom with granola bars.
There you have it, guys. Our reaction to the 500-mile-an-hour storm. We apologize in advance if we have shredded this to pieces and you enjoyed it. We're glad that you enjoyed it. From a meteorological perspective, it was not accurate at all.
If you guys want to check it out, it's on Amazon Prime. If you have it, watch the first 5 minutes and let us know your thoughts.
Please comment below your thoughts.
I want to know if anybody else has watched this movie and what they think of it too.
So down below, we're going to have links to some of the things we talked about. And if you want to go ahead and check us out on our other social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, they are right here. As well as our website, which is linked down below.
Until next time, I'm Kayla.
And I'm Jim.
Thanks for watching.
And we're so sorry. We shredded this portal.
It deserved it!